When I was in high school, my father started adding a project in our basement. He never specified what it was, just said it was entirely for his business. But everything that happened in the basement had to be secret. He even soundproofed the basement walls. Seeing how cautious he was about secrecy, I didn't ask too many questions. Some of my school friends liked some very strange adult websites. Some of the videos were oddly calming. They would spend time searching for these bizarre videos. As for me, I didn't spend too much time online. Usually, just searching for NFL or NBA highlights and social media sites. So whenever my friends mentioned their weird interests, I usually refused. But one afternoon at lunch, my best friend Kevin started describing what he called the dark web. He said it was a place only accessible with special software, and what you found there made all adult websites look boring. The descriptions of killer websites were terrifyingly realistic. I admit hearing this intrigued me, that such a chaotic place actually existed. Kevin invited us for a sleepover that weekend, so he could show us what he was talking about. We agreed. A few days later, when Kevin started browsing the dark web, my friends and I realized he wasn't exaggerating. The links and thumbnails we saw showed every horrific thing he had described. During the search, he stumbled upon a random, untitled link, which sparked his curiosity. What do you think? Let's watch it. I didn't say anything, but my other friends agreed. Kevin clicked the link. We saw a digital clock, flashing red numbers, slowly counting down to 0. Apparently, it was a live stream. When the timer hit 0, the screen went black. The only sound was heavy breathing. This went on for about 30 seconds. Then a flashlight beam appeared. We saw a very ugly mask. In the limited light, I could tell the man was also wearing a top hat, a suit, and a cape. He began to speak. His voice was heavily distorted. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. I've prepared a show for you about 2 helpless victims. The rest of the screen lit up. We saw walls of a small, red-bricked room. On the back wall, 2 completely naked women were chained with handcuffs. One was overweight. The other was very fit. The man slowly approached the overweight woman. You are an ugly, disgusting woman. Monsters like you don't deserve to share the world with beautiful women. He glanced at the other woman, who was, at that moment, the most attractive. She said nothing, just stared at him in disgust. I'll deal with you later. But for now, let's take care of the ugly one. Hands appeared from off-screen, handing him a pair of scissors. For some reason, this assistant didn't want to show their face. If only you looked better. He opened the scissors and began cutting toward the woman. The second woman started crying in fear. Then the man pointed a chainsaw at her stomach. I felt someone touching me. One of my friends fainted from shock. Another started vomiting. The man turned off the chainsaw, but the terror didn't end there. He stared into the camera as if looking directly at us. You see, my friends, this is not just a show. This is reality, and you chose to watch it. He set the chainsaw down and picked up a long knife. The women screamed and pulled at their chains, but it was useless. They were firmly locked to the wall. My heart pounded in my chest. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. But as for you, he looked in the direction of the whip and said. The assistant handed the whip to him. Hawkins lashed the woman cruelly many times. Just then, Kevin noticed a message box appear in the live stream. People began typing all kinds of terrifying messages. All of these messages were expressing joy at what they were witnessing. Kevin typed, "What the hell is wrong with you? The police will know about this." Oh. Such a tough guy. Kevin, are you going to call the police? When we heard this insane man mention my friend's name, we all gasped in shock. "I already have all the information about you. Looks like I'll be seeing you soon." Then a second light appeared, showing his name and family data. "Now, excuse me. I have something to take care of first." Kevin immediately shut down the computer. The other friends all left. Although I was terrified too, I chose to stay with him. Fortunately, nothing happened that night. But Kevin didn't sleep at all. Weeks went by, still safe and sound. Things seemed to have finally calmed down. Until one Friday night, I was watching the news when I heard a report about a mass murder that happened near where I lived. When I saw the reporter standing outside Kevin's house, I gasped in horror. His parents and siblings had been murdered, and Kevin himself was missing. That night, I woke up to use the bathroom. As I stepped out of my bedroom, I saw my father walking upstairs. His clothes were covered in dirt. "Dad, it's 1 a.m. now. Why are you fixing the sprinkler at this hour? Why not fix it? Is there some law that says I can't?" Dad said with heavy sarcasm. I sighed and went back to sleep. The next afternoon, my dad went out on errands. It was then I decided to be a naughty boy and check out the basement. Looking back, I really don't know why I chose that particular moment to go there. I wanted to see what secrets were hidden there. I went downstairs and flipped the light switch. Up to this point, the basement looked no different from the last time I entered it. Then I noticed a door behind the stairs. My curiosity piqued. I opened the door, and the lights came on automatically. The sight before me gave me chills. It was a small room. The walls were painted red, with gloves hanging on them. It looked exactly like the room I had seen in that horrific livestream weeks earlier. A chainsaw covered in blood, and a table with a computer and a webcam on top. Beside the computer was an ugly mask. I recognized it immediately. It was Hawkins' mask. I heard my father shouting upstairs because he noticed the basement door wide open. He came down cursing at me. When he saw me standing at the entrance of his sacred room, holding the mask in my hand, he froze. His face instantly changed from anger to seriousness. We stood in awkward silence for a long time. I felt angry and betrayed, and walked up to him. I punched him in the mouth. He was too shocked to move. He didn't even try to defend himself. Then I went upstairs. They called the police. My father was arrested soon after. The reason he soundproofed the basement walls was to keep anyone's screams from being heard. In addition, my friend Kevin and the 2 women from the live stream were buried in the backyard. Their bodies were completely mutilated and stacked together. That explained why my father was working in the yard late at night, and why he used the name Hawkins as his dark web identity. In the nearby cemetery, a man named Hawkins was buried. He was murdered in 1995. My father admitted he was the killer. The blood evidence collected at the scene matched perfectly. It has been 5 years since his arrest and sentencing. I have never visited him in prison once. He will be executed in the coming years. In the meantime, I can't help but wonder if the man who raised me somehow instilled those evil thoughts in me. I'm afraid that one day I'll snap and become a monster just like him. Xiao Jian's head was falling down. I jumped over. My hand caught between the door and the lift. I managed to stop him at the last moment. I shouted for Sister Sue to call the medics. Meanwhile, a sudden sharp pain shot through my index finger. I screamed and pulled my hand back. Blood spilled onto the floor. Then I saw the lift doors close and could still hear Miss laughing as she was lowered. But I quickly stopped caring, because the pain in my finger became unbearable. I slowly raised my hand to see it, and let go of the other hand I was holding. The sight before me almost made me faint. Half of my index finger was gone, bitten clean off at the joint. I felt blood flowing inside, pulsing under the skin. Then I heard Sister Sue rush in and call for the medics downstairs to come quickly. I tried to tell her about Miss and that the medics should go find her in the basement, but I couldn't finish a single sentence before I fainted. I don't remember much after that. I just know I woke up in a hospital, which is now about an hour ago. The police came and left. They questioned me and Sister Sue separately. Then they told me the only evidence they found was a shattered basement window, my blood on the bedroom floor, and a piece of my finger in the lift. There was no trace of Xiao Jian inside or outside. Even the police dogs couldn't find a clue. So now he's registered as a missing person. From the police's tone, I could tell they didn't hold out much hope of finding him, but I know he's out there somewhere. The thought of it terrifies me. I can't help but think he may still believe he's playing a game of hide and seek, just a bigger version, with more people involved. So if you see him in the woods, or somewhere near your home, remember my warning. Do not play hide and seek with him. I met a woman at a bar. She didn't talk much the first time I saw her. She was sitting alone in the corner. I was a bit drunk at the time, and noticed she had a strange smell. Her eyes were vacant. I asked if she needed a ride home, or if she needed to call someone, but she didn't say a word. My intentions were good. I just wanted to help this drunk woman get home safely. I asked if she wanted water or coffee, or if she had any friends with her. She still said nothing, but I knew she needed my help. I ordered a rideshare car and helped her out of the bar. Since I was too drunk to drive myself, she was pretty wasted. He could barely walk straight, kind of leaning to one side, but he was really beautiful. The driver hesitated a little, struggling with whether to let us in. He said he needed a doctor. He pointed at the wound on his leg, meaning the blood would stain the car. I touched the wound. It was already dry. I said he must have just fallen. We were both dead drunk. We told the driver to hurry and take us home. The driver clearly didn't want us inside, but luckily, he was kind. I looked very drunk, barely able to walk. This woman had no wallet, no ID, no phone, nothing at all. I asked her many times where she lived, but she stayed silent. I didn't know what to do. I was helpless with this drunk woman, and I was wasted myself. In the end, with no choice, I decided to take him home, but I had no other thoughts, just in a normal way. I meant well. We arrived home. I confirmed several times if he wanted to go in. I said, if you don't want to come in, I'll have the driver take you elsewhere. The driver also heard me say this, but the woman said nothing, just let out faint growls and hisses. I thought maybe he was hungry. I took him inside, sat him down on the sofa, said I'd get him something to eat. I asked what he liked. He didn't answer, but here, he seemed a little more at ease than in the bar. Maybe he wasn't hungry, so I sat beside him. He didn't move. I leaned closer, trying to hear if his voice was too faint, but I couldn't hear him speak. I held him close, so he wouldn't get cold. If he told me to move away, I would have done it, but he didn't. So I thought it was fine. Just then, things began to change. He suddenly turned and bit my arm, bit deep. His face suddenly changed. He sank his teeth deep into my arm. I pulled away. Then he leaped onto me, clawing and biting at my face. I used all my strength to throw him off. I tried to escape, but he pounced right back. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed the nearest thing, a notebook, slammed it against his head. He stumbled and fell limping. Where he bit me, it started itching like crazy. Then I wrapped him up in a carpet. I scratched at the bite. It spread up my arm. Maybe I needed a shot. Maybe it was an infection. I needed antibiotics, but I didn't go. I just kept scratching. I put him in the back of the truck. Then I put on a jacket. The sleeves were soaked in blood. I kept scratching until my arm went numb, even lost all feeling. I pulled back the sleeve, saw the purple-green skin. Driving one-handed wasn't easy, and the infection had spread to my shoulder. I should have gone to the hospital, but my story might make the nurses, doctors, or even cops suspicious. In the end, I drove to the swamp. When I lifted him out of the truck, my neck started itching. That prickly, itchy sting, I felt it spreading to my cheek. With the stinking stiff jacket, I rubbed the collar against my face. I threw the carpet-trapped body straight into the water. Driving back home, the itching spread to my eyes. If only I had gone to an eye doctor, maybe it wouldn't have been too late. I didn't even buy eye drops. I thought it would just pass. I kept enduring it. I started worrying. My flesh was rotting. Now I'm afraid to look in the mirror. Will I turn into a zombie? My scalp is so dry. Besides the itching, hair started growing out of my hand. I feel my time is short, but not in the undead way. I've started to smell like that woman. I don't know what this infection is, but it's getting worse. The more I think about that woman, the more I realize something was wrong with him. What should I do?